I'm back with another video, and in today's video we have an Xbox Series X console in here. And in this video I'm gonna take you on a step-by-step how you can open it up and how you can replace the HDMI port. As you can see, this client brought this one in. Let me zoom in. As you can see, this port, it is damaged right in there in the corner. Some pins are damaged. These are not fixable. You must replace the whole entire HDMI port. There are some shops that they charge you a lot to do this, but if you can just buy a soldering iron and heat gun and you can do this at home with a little bit of experience, you can do it, and it's not too hard to do it. Alright, I'm going to take you on a step-by-step process of how to replace this HDMI port, and I'll leave the link for the HDMI port in the video description and the tools that I'll be using. First thing first, we're going to open up the console. First, I don't like putting it face down because there are two buttons on the side in the front. This eject button and then the sync button. I don't like to pressure on them. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put a box right underneath, or I'll put a tape. I'll put this one right in the middle in here so it doesn't force those buttons. I don't want to damage those buttons. So I'll work like this. So I'm going to go over the tools that I'll be using. Good tool to have is an iFixit screwdriver set, the basic tool set. We're going to use this one, and you need a tweezers, curved tweezers, plastic spatula, and we are going to repaste it because we're going to remove the heatsink. You need an alcohol, isopropylic or isopropylic alcohol. Pretty much this video is going to help you to do your own service too at the same time. So isopropylic 98% plus, workshop towel, 1 sheet of the workshop towel, and a good thermal paste. You can go with a good brand thermal paste, Thermal Grizzly Quaranut, or you can go second best, which will be an Arctic MX4 or MX6. The new ones are MX6. Go with those ones. All right. A toothbrush. I used a new toothbrush to clean the fan system. Anyway, so down here, first we're going to remove this plastic right in here. So we're going to put the tweezers right underneath. This is just a cover to cover up the screw hole. We're going to lift up. Put a little bit of alcohol on the side of this, spread right on top, and we're gonna peel off this label right in here with the use of alcohol. Alcohol makes it easy to lift it up, bring it up until you see the screw right in here. Then you want to do this, and you're gonna grab a torque, screw number 10, I believe, no, number 9. It is 9, right? Let me see. Yeah, Torx number 9. All right, we're going to remove these 2 screws. These are really tough in a screw. There we go. So, remove the 2 screws. All right, once you remove this screw, we're going to grab a opening tool. We can use a guitar pick, a metallic guitar pick, to lift it up. You want to lift it up from the bottom to the side, just like that. Once you got your hand right underneath, you want to wiggle it around up and down, and then it should release here. And then you want to pull it towards you because the hook goes right underneath in 45 degrees, and it will come out. All right, take it outside, wash it up, dry it up, whatever you want to do. Leave it for drying. And down here, we're going to disconnect the fan system. Again, same torque screw, 1, 2, 3 screws. Remove these 3 screws. And pull this jack in 45-degree angle in the same position. It's not upward, it's like in an angle. You want to disconnect it and then lift up this fan. Take it outside and clean it. It's dusty. This is not a cleaning video, but we're just going to go straight to the HDMI port, which is right over here. Now we need to remove this screw right in here. And we're going to lift up this. Oh, before we do that, we're going to remove this bottom round thing that they have in here. To remove that, you need to put tweezers right underneath in here. I don't know if you guys can see right in here, not in here, on the second one. And then you want to lift it up like this. You want to lift it. And then you want to rotate the bottom cover. There we go. You just want to rotate a little bit and let go, and then you want to slide it out. That hook is just like a holds on this one. Just lift that hook. Let me show you guys. That hook is right in here. So pretty much what I do, I put this one underneath. I'm just pulling it back like that, so I can do half a turn and then pull out this bottom round cover, whatever you call that, stand, I guess. Now down here, we are gonna remove few screws. We're gonna remove the 3 screws, 3 chrome, and first remove the 3 chrome screws. Just be careful. Don't remove the last one, because if you remove, the whole thing is gonna go down. So I'll put my hand over here so it doesn't fall off. So while I put my hand underneath, and I'm gonna disconnect this one. Don't let go. So while you have your hand in here, then now you can disconnect this, remove this screw right in here. Okay. You do not need to remove this screw right here. Just remove the black screw right in here and 3 green screws. Right. Now we're gonna remove this cover here. Just bring it upward, wiggle it around, and it should release itself. Bring it straight upward. All right. Now we need to disconnect this SATA connector and the power. The power is easy. Grab it on the cables and then bring it upward. This one, don't grab it on the cables, pull it up. You want to grab it on the 4th side and bring it up on the 4th end so it doesn't break. Grab the DVD drive and bring it upward. Now we need to disconnect these 2 cables before we pulling up everything out. To disconnect it, on this hook right in here, you want to lift up this one 45 degree, this jack. I don't know if you guys can see it. You go with a spatula, you want to go right under that metal and like that. And there's a little adhesive under this one, and then you want to pull it towards the ceiling, pull it towards yourself, and that will come out. If you don't do this one, you're going to damage the earlobes on the jack. Not a big deal, but I don't like damaging the flex cable. Now to remove this one, to pull it towards yourself, you want to push towards the jack, the connector in there. I'm going to show you after removing the jack. So I'm just pushing it towards the connector, then I'm sliding this up here. So this one, I'm actually pushing inward like that while I'm pulling. In this one, I'm lifting up this one to unhook it. All right, then we're going to grab the whole housing, remove this Kapton tape, everything right there, and then bring out the whole interior upward. And you can blow some dry air in here and clean it up. Again, this is not servicing. I made a video how to clean it up. So we got it in here. We're gonna put a workshop towel here, and we're gonna put a heatsink side down. You're gonna remove this rubber in here, grab it, lift it up, remove it all around, put it in there, grab it like this. First, we're gonna unhook this one, lift it up really hard, opens up. Again, this side, this goes right underneath. You can take a picture to see which screw goes where, so you know the orientation of the screws. But or you can grab a marker, but I like to, because I know by experience what it is, but you should take a picture to know which screw goes where. All right, so let's start with the side panel. We remove the 3 screws in here. Put the screws and pull it up. It's gently, both sides, don't yank it from one side, evenly bring it up. We're gonna remove the screw right over here. Those are really tough screws, so that's what I'm saying, use a good screwdriver. And we're gonna start removing the rest of the screw. What I like to see, this is a chrome and this is chrome black screw. So what I do, I grab a Sharpie and I'll just put like this, so I know where the black screws goes and where the chrome screws go. So I know that one right there, and I don't see this one right over here. There we go. So that's easy. Another thing you can have. So go ahead and remove the black screws. These are really toughened screws. Also, if you guys like my videos, if you find my videos helpful and helping you guys out, you can support the channel by clicking that like and subscribe. I'll greatly appreciate it. It helps and motivates me to make more videos, take requests, and answer your questions in the comment area. Appreciate that. The screws for the heat, for the power unit, they're long screws. So remove the 3 screws on the power connector right here in the front. Before we remove, we need to remove this bottom cover. So let's put this cable to one side. Remove this bottom cover here. The screw in the middle. This cover, there's one more screw right here. Now we should be able to, I forgot one screw right in here. Under the cable I couldn't see. Now we can lift up this cover right in here. Put it to one side. Now we can see lots of dust in there. Now we can grab this heat. We need to lift up this cover in here. Just bring it up from one side. We need to disconnect this one up. There's a tiny latch on the other side of here. You want to pinch that latch and pull it upward. That latch is right here. You want to push this latch right there and then yank it up. Now we can remove this one. Another cable right here. Again, tiny latch. This one is kind of hard. There we go. Tiny latch and pull it up. There's a power unit right here. And we got the motherboard right over here. So we're gonna remove, again, the screws right over here. So go ahead and remove all these screws. Alright, now we remove this one. We can remove the shield. Remove the 3 screws for this board right in here. Alright, now we're gonna slide this board backward and then lift it up. Now, to remove this one, there's a flex cable in here. You wanna remove this one, you wanna pinch the side of this jack with one hand and then lift this one up because of the earlobes. If you don't push this corner side, you can damage the earlobes on this flex cable. Lift it up. I wish the HDMI would have been in this port. We've already been working on it, but it's not. So we're gonna put that to one side. We still need to get to the other side. So I don't want to push on this flex cable, so I'll put the thing to work on it on this side. Let me see. No, actually I can just lift it up gently. So we're gonna lift up this heatsink, bring it up, and pass through this flex cable right through here. And there's this thermal putty around it. Don't worry about it. You don't need to replace it. Just leave it the way it is. We can remove this flex cable. If you want to know which orientation they go, it's easier again. Just do one line like that, so you know that one goes there. Again, push the corners and pull the flex cable out. This thermal putty, you can put it right on top. Just push it in the middle. Don't worry about it. It's not a big deal. Now, we do need to remove the board from here. So we need to lift up this bracket here. To lift it up, you will need to unhook it from here, here, and few 3 points. So you want to put this one underneath and just lift it up gently. And I don't want to damage this cover. Nothing honestly happens. Some people just yank it out, but I really don't want to yank it out. But if he's not gonna leave me any choice, then well, guess what? I'm yanking, so I'm gonna work on this side if that side is not budging in. So let's try this side. There's one hook right in here that is not letting me do my job, but I will not let it to stop me. There we go. And there we have it. Honestly, you don't have to put it back on. It's not necessary to put it on. It's just hassle to take it out sometimes, but with a little bit of patience, we can do it. We need to remove this X clamp for the CPU. Again, mark it one direction like that. And mark this plastic tube because it's gonna fall off, so you know which way it goes in, so you don't damage the capacitors. So one screw, do the cross screw, always do like an X shape, cross screw them. There we go. Now lift up, put it to one side, and grab the motherboard to split it out, put this one underneath, and just move it like this. Do a little bit on this side, a little bit on that side. Or you know what, we can make it easier by lifting up the heatsink on this side, but then we have to remove all these screws on here. You can do it, and this way you can actually wash the heatsink and clean it up outside. This way when you pull this one up, you don't stress the motherboard. So pretty much what you want to do, you will just want to pull it out. It is grabbing really hard on that motherboard. Don't know why. There's no more screws or anything here. Just grabbing it and not letting it go. I see this patch right in here. There we go. So remove it, and do the thermal putties are holding on those VRAMs. Oops. Grab this one, put it right on top. It's gonna squish back in. All right, let's put this heatsink to one side. Now we can separate this one, just evenly bring it out. What I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put this one right on top. And you can go ahead and put the screws for this one. You don't have to remove the heatsink, but I'd rather do it this way. This way I don't stress the motherboard by bending it. So then I'm just gonna put this screw before, once I start putting everything back together, it makes it a little easier. All right, so we're gonna put this to one side, we're gonna repaste, we're gonna remove this gunk of thermal paste, and we're gonna apply the new one. So we're gonna take this board, this is the main board, the CPU and GPU with all the VRAMs, everything in there, and in the corner there we have the HDMI port. So we're gonna take this HDMI port and we're gonna isolate it, and I'm gonna show you the tools that I use to do this. I'm gonna remove this thermal putty from here, and I'll apply this in a bit. So I'll leave this one out for now, but we're gonna heat it up all around. We're gonna protect these components, and we're gonna isolate everything and to be left only with the HDMI port. I'll leave the link for the HDMI port that I use, and we can go. So we're gonna go jump over to my soldering station, and we're gonna continue in there. So what we're gonna do here, we're gonna prepare the side. I have my HDMI port right in here, the new one. We're gonna take it off. We're gonna leave it here for a second. I have my solder station. I use the portable T100. We can use this one, or we have my normal old solder station, a heat gun, cheapest heat gun you can get. I got my solder, I got my flux, and my little bit of solder cleaning, and a solder wick to absorb the old thermal paste. to absorb the solder. All right, with all this on hand, let's get into it. I'm using 138 Celsius solder paste. We're gonna blend with the old one that they have in there, so it melts faster. So I'm gonna grab a little bit of this one. So I broke it. It's pretty dried up, but it doesn't matter. I just want to put it a little bit in here. And we're gonna suck it in. I have a little bit of metal in there, so let's remove this one. Drop it right on the board. All right. So first we're gonna grab a little bit of the aluminum tape or foil tape. So we have a little bit of foil tape. We're gonna isolate around it. We don't want to melt the plastic jack in here. So let's go ahead and cut a few sheets, and we're gonna isolate it. So I'm gonna isolate all the way from here to there. So when we're heating it up, we are not damaging the components. So I'm gonna go back here. I'm gonna isolate these tiny components back there too. So we're gonna cut it again. We don't want to put the foil tape right all the way close to under the HDMI. So we're gonna put it, I know the HDMI finishes right over here. I'm just gonna put it like this. I'm gonna cut it, and I'll put it like that. Now I'm gonna grab a little bit of this one here, 2 strips, and I'm gonna go over from here all the way here, like that, and one last one over this expansion card. Now, first we're gonna put lots of flux. Let's grab a little bit of flux. I'm gonna use a brush to put my flux right on the pins, right under at the back of the jack. Put lots of flux in there, and on the sides, and at the back we're gonna put it right on these 4 legs that we have it right there. All right. So what are we gonna do? We're gonna clean up the solder tip, and we are gonna grab our low melting solder, and we are gonna go down here on this side, and we are gonna apply it. Hold it there for a few seconds, and so it melts with the old solder right under there. All right, now we're gonna put solder right on the pins at the back of the HDMI. So we're gonna grab enough solder right in here, and we're gonna drop it right at the back of the port. Cross all over the ports. You want to make sure every port down there has solder right on it. Even the corners in here, you want to apply on the legs. Now, once we have this one ready, what I'm going to do, I'm going to put it right in here on this wood. So, because I have only 2 hands, I'm going to heat it up with a heat gun from this side, and I'm going to try to lift it up from this end. So I'm going to use the tweezers from here, and I'll see if I can grab it from here and pull it out backward. All right, so we're going to apply enough heat. I'm going to set my temperature at 400 Celsius, and I'm going to start heating it up. First, I'm going to heat up a little bit from both sides. So I'm going to try to heat it up from here now. It takes lots of time because the PCB is really thick. Gonna heat it up a little bit from this side. And we have successfully removed it with no problem. So we're gonna clean it up, clean the spot. Just make sure it's really hot, do not touch it. And this is the old jack right there. So we're gonna put that to one side. And we are gonna solder it. So we're gonna clean it up. Okay, so what I'm gonna do right now, we're gonna grab the wick. I'm gonna dip the wick in a flux. And what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna start desoldering it, clean up the old clean up the old paste. So we're gonna first do one round of the cleaning up the old paste. And I see tiny bit of plastic right in here. Once we finish it up, I see a little bit of plastic in here. We're gonna remove this plastic in here. This is from the old jack. So let's do if you're. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna heat it up with a heat gun, and then I'm gonna start desoldering because we need to open up these holes right where the jack is gonna go. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna grab a little bit of more solder in here. I'm gonna add right on top of these ones. Make sure it goes all the way in. So what I'm gonna do right now while it's heating up, I'm gonna desolder with extra heat so it opens up all the passages. All right, so we're gonna clean up the spot. We're gonna put an alcohol. And we're gonna use a towel. And it's nice and clean. This plastic in here, I'm gonna chip it out because I don't like this plastic thing right in the middle. You're gonna put an alcohol on the other side. And I think this hole is not opened up, so I'm gonna put a tweezer, see maybe it's flux in there. I think it's flux. No, it's not fully opened, probably. So what we can do in here, we can grab the jack, and we're gonna set it on top and see if it sits flush with the board. And I see that this plastic right in here is not, so I'm gonna use a cutter and just chip this thing off. This is my new port, so I'm gonna put it right on top. And it should sit nicely flush with the board. There we go. All the pins are touching and it's sitting flat. It has to be really straight and flat right on the board. Perfect. So we're gonna lift it up, double check. All the pins are touching. So what I'd like to do with this new board, new jack, I'll put a little bit of flux right on top. And I'm going to thin it up. I'm going to use a little bit of more blow melting solder. I'm going to grab it. And I'm going to prepare these ones. I'm just going to thin it up. Right, it's nice and thin. Now we're going to put a little flux on the board, on the pads. And we're going to thin it up. So we're going to grab it and we're going to just do a little pass. There we go. Now we're going to clean it up. I see this one is touching each other, so we're going to put a little flux just to we don't want them to touch each other, so we can create a short. Always put lots of flux. Flux helps a lot. And we're going to clean up the head. There we go. So once it's ready, we are going to grab the jack. We're going to put it right on top. And we're going to heat it up with a heat gun, and it should melt all those pins to itself. And then we're going to solder the side jacks. So I'm going to grab it. You need to grab a magnifying glass and just check it right underneath to make sure all those pins are touching. All right, now they're all touching nicely and ready. We're going to put flux right on the side. And we're going to put it underneath. We're going to grab our solder. We can grab a regular solder. And we are going to apply it right on the jack. We're going to apply it on the other side. I'll put the jack right on this one. Hold it there for a few seconds. We can see on the back side it is soldered, the legs are soldered. And on the side we can apply a little bit of the flux to make sure it helps and absorbs it. Alright, this one is ready right now. So we're gonna remove the foils, everything from here, and we're gonna clean up with an alcohol, and we're gonna take it to the station, and we're gonna assemble, and we're gonna test it. Alright, now that we are back, here you can see the solder, the port is nicely soldered. Brand new port, it's not damaged compared to the other one. And we're gonna assemble it back. But we do that, we're gonna clean up the old thermal paste, and we're gonna apply the new thermal paste. So grab yourself the alcohol. I'm gonna clean my hands because it's kind of sticky from all those flux and old paste. And we're gonna clean up the crystal die. We don't care about rounding, so as long as you clean the crystal die, that's all you care about. Don't worry about the extra thermal paste around it. Grab the heatsink. Soak this one in an alcohol. And clean it up, but you can grab a spatula here. Put an alcohol right on top. And just break it down. So grab out of the thermal paste. We are going to apply one line right on the crystal die, and we are going to bring it down, and we are going to set it down straight right where it's supposed to be. We're going to grab this thermal putty from here, and we're going to smash it right in here, and it's going to, once we put the top plate, it's going to go in place. Grab the X clamp in our correct position, and we are going to put the screws. I'm putting it by hand a little bit to just grab it. Now we can just always cross screw them, do one side, and then come back this side, do a little bit of turns, and then go back to other side. Always cross screw them, only do halfway, and then come back and do the rest. Once we have this one done, put this plate right on top. It doesn't do anything literally. If you don't want to, don't put it, but if you do want it, go ahead and put it right. There's a one side is cut, so you know which side it goes in. It only goes in one way. Put it right on top. Once that one is in there, grab this jack that you already painted and push this jack connector to each other, and then push the flex cable all the way in. Make sure it goes all the way in. Some people, they don't push it all the way in and they wonder why it's not turning on or it's not working. And this is the reason they don't push this one all the way in. All those pins, they have to be inside the connector. But we got that one in place. We're gonna grab the top side, and we are gonna pass this flex cable through this connector right there. Clean up, remove the dust, the stuff, and bring it over and set it right on top. Now you want to grab this board right here, and we are going to bring it over, set it right on top, and we are going to connect the same thing. Push the jack, push this one all the way in there. There we have it. Grab this expansion board right here, set it right with the offset position, and push it towards the board. Put the 3 screws on this one right away, because we know it's already 3 black screws. We know that this board goes right on top of this one, and we need to put the screws right underneath, so all these screws, they go in. You want to grab this plate goes on top first, and then you want to put this black screws right on top of this one, so the power unit sits right over this. Honestly, most of the screws in here, they're useless. You don't need 500 screws to keep one plate and one tiny board in place. It's literally unnecessary. We are going to power it on, and we're going to see if it's going to give any image or anything like that at the end. Okay, now we're going to grab the power unit, put it right on top, open up this lock here, bring it over, connect it all the way in the first board, push it all the way down, make sure it clips in, put this other cable right on this board. Now lock it down, and we need this board right here. Run the cable, make sure it sits nice and flat. Run the power cable here, lock it down, it has to click in, and put it right on top. We are gonna put these screws in here, and the power unit takes few long screws, goes there, this one goes here, the long ones. That one is not long screw. One at the back. Alright, this one takes a short screw. There should be a short screw that goes in the middle. One long screw that goes right in here. Another long screw goes over. There should be one more long screw goes over here in this corner. This one goes right over here. I have one mid screw, which I have no clue where it goes. It goes right over here. Now, when I say like it's useless, like say for example, this one right here, what does it protect? It's just protecting the corner. It's not doing anything. Pretty much, the screw could be there, like it's hiding the screw for the power unit, or what? What's the point of this one here? It's pretty much useless. This corner, extra metal, extra weight. They're trying to gain something, and they on this side they don't put anything, so it's kind of weird, but yeah. So let's put this expansion board here. But before you put it, we need to put one black screw right here. Then we can go with the expansion board. I think this is for the controller. Just put it down and put the 3 screw for this one. And the screws for this one is unnecessary, too long, way too long. Now we're gonna put the rest of the black screws all around it. I'm gonna fast forward this part. Now that we put everything together, now we need to put the strap on top of this. This strap goes in only one way. Put it right underneath there, and you lift it, you move it around. It goes in, hooks right through here. This, I guess, is for vibration, for air passage, stuff like that. There we go. Nicely in place. So we're gonna get the housing and we're gonna work on it. Let's put this one to one side, grab the housing. I'll put my tape right underneath. So let's see, these flex connectors, they go here and here. So this one here, move this out of the way and bring it and put it down. It has to sit there nice and flat. Grab the DVD drive, slide it there and it falls in place. Connect the jack, SATA, and the power. Grab the fan, make sure you clean yours. Put it right in there. It has to go all the way in with not extra thing, because this one is shifted. Move it around and it should go in within place. Put the screw for the fan in the middle and two on each side. One on each side. Right, so let's go ahead and put the fan connector and put the screw one on each corner. Now we need to grab this DVD holder. I call it a DVD holder. It goes in this way. It has to hold the DVD in place. Move the DVD a little bit. It goes in place. Put one screw in this corner. You can flip it upside down like this and put the 3 green screws. Okay, and one tiny black screw goes in the corner right in here. It's not all the way nicely in place, so I need to move it around and make sure it goes in all the way. So I have to take it out. There we go. Now we are gonna connect the flex cables here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna first slide this one in, flex in, open up the lock for this one, and slide this one right there, all the way in there, and lock it down. And to finish it off, grab the bottom cover, the back cover, in 45-degree, put by the fan side in, and bring it down and squeeze down, make sure it clicks in. All these hooks, they have to go underneath, and there we go. And right here, the last two screws, they go at the back, and they put the covers on, and we're gonna test it out. But let's put this one on top. And you can see the HDMI port is nicely in place. Grab this cover in here, and this one goes in only one way. It goes in there, and half a twist, it makes a click sound, and that's it. So let's put this one to one side. Bring my screen, my keyboard just fell off. So there's my screen, HDMI connected, and the power just beside it. And we're gonna power. I got the light, fan is spinning, and let's see, we should get something in the screen. Hopefully we get a Xbox logo any second. I don't know if it's connected. Give it a few seconds. And there we have the Xbox logo. And this is how you replace your HDMI port for your Xbox Series X. Again, I hope you guys like this video and helped you guys out. If you have any question or requests, feel free to leave them in a video comment. I'll try to answer them as soon as I can. As always, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in my next video.